Wrestling Federation Champion, Sergeant Slaughter, versus the Immortal Hulk Hogan. Face to face, it's WrestleMania!
Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 42. It's WrestleMania season! Yay!
It's the most wonderful time of the year.
I love WrestleMania. But anyways...
I just love it!
But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed that little treat we had for you guys with the intro of the audio-only intro to WrestleMania VII with a slideshow for y'all. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed that little... Oh, I see you were...
Echo. Pinch hitting for Pedro Morvone. Manny Mota.
I'm an idiot. You're an idiot.
Anyway, hope you all enjoyed that audio intro to WrestleMania VII.
Yes.
Thank James.
Yes.
Yeah, thanks.
Speaking of WrestleMania VII, that is the subject of tonight's episode.
Yes, so reminders.
I like your show.
Yeah, so a reminder. So throughout this month and the first half of April, it's all WrestleManias. So tonight, it's WrestleMania 7. Next week, WrestleMania 10. After that, WrestleMania 11. After that, WrestleMania 14, then 17, and then we end off with our review of 37 Night 1 and predictions for 37 Night 2. So that is how the schedule is going to be going through mid-April. But enough of that. We're talking WrestleMania 7, taking place from the Los Angeles Memorial Sports Arena, keyword arena, in Los Angeles, California. And I figured, you know what, before we get into everything, why don't we address the ginormous elephant in the room about this show, and that is, why did they go from the Coliseum to the arena? Gentlemen, the floor is yours.
Well, James is pretty well versed in this. So
All right.
Got the information. Let it fly.
A year earlier at WrestleMania 6, they announced that WrestleMania 7 would take place at the LA Memorial Coliseum with over 100,000 people. Coliseum held 93,000 in the stands, about 10,000 in the seats, so they were hoping for 105,000 people. 6 weeks out of WrestleMania, it only sold 15,000 tickets. So, okay, they're not even going to fill a fourth of that stadium, so they just... 15,000 filled the sports arena, so they moved it to the sports arena.
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason. Now, the company, and a lot of people within the company will say security reasons, bomb threats, Sergeant Slaughter getting a ton of heat, which he was getting a ton of heat at the time. However, you've only sold 15,000 seats with 6 weeks left until the show. That's the reason they moved. But they will always, till forever, say security was the reason they moved.
Mm-hmm. Yep. It's as simple as that. So.
Yep, so for those who didn't know, well, now you know.
And knowing is half the battle. Yo, Joe.
So with all that said and done, time to talk numbers and everything else. So, because they moved to the Memorial Sports Arena, the attendance was 15,200, live gate of $722,035, pay-per-view buys 405,000. So the numbers across the board were way down from WrestleMania 6. Even pay-per-view buys went down hard, and you can tell we are starting to get into the wrestling recession gradually.
There's a reason why the numbers of this show did terrible, and we'll get to that near the end of this episode.
Yeah, but in comparison to the rest of the shows in 1991, WrestleMania was actually the second lowest attended pay-per-view, with This Tuesday in Texas being the lowest. Livegate was the highest. Pay-per-view buys was actually in the middle. Royal Rumble, the previous pay-per-view, was the highest. This Tuesday in Texas was the lowest. So yeah, we'll go more in detail as to why the numbers were they were.
Despite the fact there was only 15,000 people in attendance, the way they did camera shots, it looked like 20,000 plus.
Yeah.
So it's like they did the best they could with the situation that they were handed.
Mm-hmm. Yep. But, Scott, what food do we have en masse for WrestleMania 7?
I didn't expect to see so much food for this show, based upon the time frame, but there's quite a few. So let's get into the food for WrestleMania 7 from Los Angeles, California. We have celebrities on the show. We also have the beginning of the streak. We have fringe galore. There's a lot of fringe on this show. We also have lots of sensational ass happening on this show. Lots of butt shots.
We do.
Lots of gratuitous butt shots. Lots of here's look at my ass shots. We also get the heartfelt reunion. We have bear hugging, power slamming, ref bumping, back breaking, spitting, and blood on this show. For the moves, we have a double drop kick, a missile drop kick, a high cross body, the claw, one discus punch, one full Nelson, one bulldog power slam. We get the Bret Hart comeback. We get a heart attack clothesline, 2 Boston Crabs, 1 DDT. Can you imagine a show with just 1 DDT on it? We also get 1 tombstone on the show. We get a gorilla slam, 3 diving tackles, 1 power bomb. How about that? A show with 1 power bomb. 1 earthquake drop, 1 doomsday device, 1 pile driver, $1 million dream, 1 Akamana clutch, jabroni, 1 big leg, posing, and the move of the night, the macho elbow, with a whopping 5 macho elbows on the show. For the foo, we have helmet foo, blindfold foo, or sack foo, whatever you want to call it. Cane foo, belt foo, post foo, stair foo, turnbuckle foo, even though you don't see it, crutch foo, cattle prod foo, chair foo, cable foo, announcer foo, and just because, the hell with it, sherry foo. And that's your foo.
And if I may add a special one, will you be serious, foo? I love you.
Well, you stop that, foo.
Yeah.
We did get one irresistible force meeting the immovable object line. We did get that in there. That was the Bulldog Warlord match.
Yep. Oh, the hole activated itself again.
Hole.
Alright, so with all that said and done, let's get into the show itself. So, 14 fucking matches. Brace yourselves for this one. Alright.
Yep, between WrestleMania 4 and WrestleMania 7, you saw 14, 15 matches on a given night. Yep. But luckily, this is the last time we would see a ton of these matches for about a decade or so. On a WrestleMania card.
4 made sense because there was a tournament happening. This one is just fuck it, get everybody out there.
Somebody activated I Am Groot. Thank you, Zach. Yeah, the Double Z TV watching. But anyways, so we kick things off with a tag team match. We have the Rockers of Shawn Michaels and Marty Jannetty versus 2 members of the Heenan family, Haku and the Barbarian, with Bobby.
Now, before you get started, the first announced team of the night, Gorilla and Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Ho! go!
That's right.
Oh yeah,
Be gold and
USA!
red, white, and blue.
USA!
Of
Yes,
guy!
that was the theme of this night. Superstars and stripes forever.
Yep.
America!
Yeah, it would be a rotating commentators throughout the entire night.
Yep. At least there was 3 teams, was it? Or 3 or 4?
Something like that.
At least 3.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gorilla and Duggan, Gorilla and Bobby, Gorilla and Lord Alfred Hayes. And then
Regis was in the main event.
main event. That was it, right? So, yeah.
Yeah.
What have I done? What in the hell did I just start? Because now Zach is addicted to my fucking sound bites.
Go, Zach, go. Don't stop. Give it to him.
Oh my lord.
Do it. Do it.
Do it. Do it. Do it.
I feel like we're not even going to have a show now because of this.
All right. Rockers versus Faces of Fear.
Faces of Fear. Yes.
Yep.
Does what was the AWA against the future WCW?
Yeah. And I thought for this match, I thought this was actually a really good opener between these two teams. You know, good
One of the better
dynamics.
opening matches in WrestleMania history.
Yeah, good
Marty-
dynamic with the Rockers being the quick, high-flying, speedy guys up against 2 powerhouses. Usually whenever you get a match like that, you get some pretty good storytelling out of it, and that's what we got with this match.
Marty takes a ton of heat, and typical tag format, gets the hot tag to Shawn, big comeback, boom, 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 powder the heels, take one out, double shot, okay? Simple as that.
And the ending to the match saw Marty give the missile drop kick, to Haku, and then Shawn with the flying crossbody. 1, 2, 3. The Rockers defeated the future Faces of Fear in 10 minutes, 33 seconds.
Shawn Michaels' first WrestleMania victory.
Yes, it is.
Yep.
And can I just say right now, there's a lot of cocaine floating around that locker room this night. A lot of it.
Oh, that's some good shit.
Mm-hmm.
Moving into the next match on the card, we have...
And this is where that cocaine was.
Yes. Up next, we have the Texas Tornado, Kerry Von Erich versus Dino Bravo with Jimmy Hart. And all I'm going to say is you're going to notice a theme with this show. A lot of needless enhancement matches on a fucking pay-per-view. Why did this match have to be
back in
on
the
this
day?
card?
That's how it was back in the day.
Well, it was, exactly.
Because you only had a few pay-per-views every single year. You had to...
This is Brown.
Get everybody
You
on.
had to give momentum to some people, so you had squash matches on pay-per-view.
Yeah.
Which is not a bad thing. This isn't what pay-per-views are now.
No. But yeah, like you said, with infrequency of pay-per-views back then, and Vince was always trying to get everybody on the big show. WrestleMania was always about trying to get everybody on the show. The company was always about that, and it goes back all the way back 30 years, which is scary for me to say, 30 years ago to 1991 for this show. So.
But not really much to say about this match, honestly. It was what it was.
Was pretty much on his way out at this point.
It's a
He'd only
sloppy
be filling
match.
numbers.
There's not a lot of communication going on between these two guys. I don't know if Kerry could understand Dino's accent or whatever. They just could not call shit properly, and they had to.
Couldn't understand any accents at that point. Sorry.
Yeah, cocaine. They had to duplicate the
Rest in peace,
spot.
but-
They had to duplicate the spot. Dino goes up the second rope, and Kerry was supposed to do something, doesn't do it right. They got to mess around, redo it, get it right. Eventually, jackass. Is that a soundbite on there now? Because I'm not listening to your channel. He's just finding everything. Groot, sneeze, what the fuck? Fellatio, hole, brown, jackass.
Yeah, he's going through every single bit of it, Zach. Why are you torturing me?
Zombie.
Because I hate you.
Texas booger sugar. You should know that one.
Oh, God. Yes, you have.
But speaking of Texas Booger Sugar, Texas Tornado got the victory in this match.
She did.
Yes, he did. As Texas Tornado Kerry Von Erich defeated Dino Bravo in 3 minutes 11 seconds. Moving right into match number 3 on the card. And this is a theme throughout pretty much the entire year. British Bulldog, Davey Boy Smith versus the Warlord with Slick. I bet you if this kind of thing happened today, people would shit all over it. But hey, 30 years ago. And it worked. I'll be honest, like Bulldog and Warlord, for some reason. Oh, Scotty, you can't do it within 5 minutes. There's a cool off.
Oh, damn, you motherfucker.
Anyways, like I was saying.
All right, I'm starting the clock.
Yet somehow Bulldog and Warlord seem to have good chemistry during the whole year because they were in the Rumble match.
Into this match. Yep.
Yeah, they were in the Rumble match before, and then we get the match here, and then they would be involved in a 6-man tag at
SummerSlam. Then they were in a Survivor Series elimination match. Then they had a match at this Tuesday in Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Build up to this match, you had the fake Queen of England, putting support on the Warlord, and then you had the GTV camera with the fake Queen and Bobby Heenan laughing and all that shit.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh man.
Bulldog's promo. There's no bull in this British Bulldog.
A lot of cocaine.
Yeah. Needless to say, but overall,
the new Bulldog, Winston.
Yeah.
Yes. Don't forget Winston.
Yep. But overall, I thought this match, like I said, Davey and Warlord seem to have good chemistry during their matches during the year, and I thought this was a good match. Not particularly great, but it was enjoyable for what it was.
Fine. Big boofy men slapping meat.
Vince McMahon likes big sweaty men. Vince McMahon likes big sweaty men.
Yeah, thank you, King Ross. My King Fat's brother from another mother.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, boy. Which is true. He ain't lying. Vince McMahon loves his big sweaty men. And this was the definition of that in 1991.
This is a nice gem in WrestleMania's history. Not one of those where it's like, oh my god, you have to see. But if you watch it, it's like, oh, that was really good.
Yeah. And in the end, British Bulldog defeated the Warlord in 8 minutes, 15 seconds. Moving right into match number 4 and the first of 3 championship matches of the night for the WWF Tag Team Championships. Champions the Hart Foundation of Bret Hart and Jim Neidhart versus challengers the Nasty Boys, Jerry Saggs, Brian Knobbs with Jimmy Hart. And this is, I'm going to argue, another gem in WrestleMania history. I thought these two had a damn good match.
This is a spot-on near-perfect match. Near-perfect tag match.
Nasties won a battle royal in the lead-up to become #1 contenders, and they had just come into the company not long before this.
Right. Yeah.
And this was also at a time when the Hart Foundation, they were about to go their separate ways. Bret on his solo run. This was like one of their last times as a team until 1997.
Yep.
Yeah.
Because it's only 4 months later that we get the classic with Kurt Hennig and Bret Hart. That's SummerSlam. Well,
absolutely. But yeah, with the Nasties coming in fresh and on a roll since they came in, and now they're getting...
Fuck the tree.
Damn it, Zach. Anyways, but yeah, like I said, really damn good tag title match between these two. Didn't go long, didn't need to. It was perfect for what it was given, and you get the end where the Hart Foundation does the heart attack on Brian Knobbs, and then Jerry Saggs comes in with the megaphone right into the back of Neidhart's head. 1, 2, 3.
New champion.
And in the end, the Nasty Boys defeated the Hart Foundation to become the new WWF Tag Team Champions in 12 minutes, 10 seconds.
This was also the debut of the Solid Gold Tag Team Championships that they would use over the next few years.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I never liked that on that style of belt. I like the sterling silver style more myself personally. I love that tag belt design, but I just like the silver one better.
Yeah, the Solid Gold worked with Money Incorporated because they were all about money, but
and like when the Legion of Doom had them and had like the gold plated pads, it made sense. But like when Demolition wore them, you know, it was like the silver and it stuck out with the black and the leather and all that stuff. Just fucking metal.
But moving into the next match, match number 5, we get a blindfold match. Jake the Snake Roberts versus Rick the Model Martel. And of course, and this is one of the few matches on this card that's given a build-up package of sorts. Going all the way back to the prior October on episode of the Brother Love Show, where...
I love you!
where Martel sprays his arrogance spray on Damien and then sprays Jake in the eye. And then we get Survivor Series where Jake's revealed to have a whole wide eye. It's like,
Human use of
that is not how blindness
That's
works.
not how eyes work. But
It didn't fucking matter. It didn't matter.
it worked.
Pro wrestling, it doesn't matter. And just the fact you had Jake doing this with as keen a sense of ring psychology as anybody else, or just psychology in general, he just knew how to sell it great. And you go into this, like you said, you get to the next Brother Love thing where, you know, Rick and Brother Love are taunting Jake because he's blind. He DDTs Brother Love there. And even showing the clip, like Jake trying to get to the ring to get at Rick, and he has to feel his way on the guardrail and the ring apron to find him and everything. He starts attacking Tito by accident because he can't see, and all building up to the match. Now, it was a little bit weird that when Jake finally gets to this match, his eyes are completely fine. They probably should have had like maybe just like what Kane would have, like the one contact lens in there maybe. Yeah. But it was what it was. But Jake actually...
promo.
Yes. Yep.
Blind, leading the blind.
Mm-hmm.
Jake had some great WrestleMania promos. He had one the year prior. He had one right here.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
Yep. And
so and as far as the match itself, it was an alright match.
It's fucking brilliant. Don't give me that it's alright. What the hell's wrong with you? Jesus Christ.
Although I will say,
because I'll explain.
Wait. Before the match even started, Jake put his hand in the hood and moved it around. It's like, okay, you ruined the illusion. However, this was fucking great.
Yes.
I love this.
Yep.
I mean,
with this, and it should have been the only blindfold match ever.
That's exactly why I say what I say about this match, is because personally, I've never been a fan of blindfold matches. And it's like, once you've seen one of them, you've seen them all. It's like, they did not need to do this anymore. This should have been a one-time only thing. And for what it was enjoyable.
It was great.
For me, I know Scott said what he said, but I just, like I said, just not a blindfold match type of guy. But for
Jake,
how it was,
crowd
it
into this, like, is he there? Is he there? Oh, he's
that
there.
does help this match a lot. The crowd involvement, that was great.
That's the point of a match. This is 100% ring psychology going on here, and that's what makes it so wonderful. The fact of, and Jake had said this in an interview that Martel was actually nervous about doing this match, and Jake was like, "You're about to go out there and make more money you've ever made, the easiest night you've ever had." And once they got out there, Rick was able to start like enjoying it, like he starts punching at the ropes and everything, and all Jake has to do is point, and the crowd is right there to say yes or no. And that it happens constantly throughout the match. They don't get tired of it. They do it for a little bit at the beginning, break it up, a little bit more in the middle, break it up, and a lot of it at the end, and the crowd is still doing it. And that is
you get a clap.
100% reason of doing.
Why is he?
Yep, you get.
Is he clapping? Aha! I knew he would clap sooner or later.
I'm trying to distract him. Maybe he'll come over here. And he runs away, just using all those old techniques, like training your dog, for God's sake. So that ring psychology, getting the crowd involved, all that stuff is what you want when you do a wrestling match. This is the one kind of match I never got to do, and I wanted to do one so bad. I did get to see a couple of guys on one show I did do this kind of match, and they had the exact same thing. They put their hoods on, and they're doing the pointing thing, and the crowd was getting into it. At one point in this match on the show, the hood came off the heel, and he's like, I can see, oh my God, I can see. And then the referee puts it back over his head, and he goes, oh. So I wish I could have had a match like this, but this one is perfect in every fucking way. One DDT, and it's over.
Yep.
Love it.
As in the end, Jake Roberts defeated Rick Martel in 8 minutes 34 seconds. And now moving into the next match, Jimmy Snuka versus The Undertaker with Paul Bearer. So, all I'm going to say about this match is that, again, this was another one of them enhancement matches, but it laid the foundation for the streak.
To begin.
Interesting note about this match, it was originally supposed to be Tugboat as the first victim of the streak. And it was even announced to be Undertaker versus Tugboat, but then they changed it because Undertaker has to tombstone everybody. And I don't think he could have tombstone Tugboat.
Yeah.
So they went with Snuka. Because Snuka, he was starting to get older, but he was still reliable in the ring.
Great. Yeah, had a great physique, so.
Yeah. I mean,
beating Snuka actually meant something.
Right.
Because people still remembered 10 years prior when he jumped off the cage.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, I would argue Taker probably could have tombstone Tugboat. Probably could have.
That's all on Fred, if he can get the balance on there.
Yeah.
The thing is, especially early on in Undertaker's career, he had to tombstone everybody.
Yeah.
So if he couldn't tombstone Tugboat, then...
Mm-hmm.
But and then, of course, we get the classic finish of Snuka trying to do a springboard splash. Taker catches him, punch, tombstone, 1, 2, 3. Undertaker defeated Jimmy Snuka in 4 minutes, 20 seconds. Hey, 420, man. And to go 1-0 in the streak. And
the streak would only just become
But now moving into the next match, and this match, in my opinion, is where the show peaked. We get the retirement match. Macho King Randy Savage with Queen Sherry versus the Ultimate Warrior. And another one of the few matches on this show that gets a little hype package prior. Not in the sense that we would get in the couple of years afterwards, but like a highlight package of what led up to it. So we see in one of the build-up moments to this was Sherry in a rather suggestive position, might I add.
The Royal Rumble.
At the Royal Rumble, begging for Warrior to give a title shot to Savage. And like I said, she was in front of him in a very interesting position. It looked like she was getting ready to go.
He was ready to ring his bell.
Giggity.
Giggity.
But yeah, and he spits to the side and goes, "No!" And then later
he had to have the orgasmic shake before he did that. You know, he
got his.
He got his all right. In front of 10,000 people.
But and then later on in that show, when we had the Warrior Slaughter match for the title, interference from both Sherry and Savage to help Slaughter beat Warrior for the title, and then here we are at WrestleMania. And Warrior and Savage, and also before the match starts, we get a crowd shot of Miss Elizabeth in the crowd, and Heenan's like, "What is she doing here?" And you'll see why later on, but this match is an all-time WrestleMania match, no question. I mean, these two went at it forever in this match, just bludgeoning each other. And of course, 5 straight elbows from the man who does the best elbow in the business. Fuck you, CM Punk.
Credit to Randy Savage, who laid this entire match out. And I bet you he even laid out the entrance for the Warrior, because if you noticed, Warrior just walked to the ring.
Yeah.
He didn't run. He didn't do any of that. He walked. And it's like, oh shit, he's taking this seriously. Because it's company is not big enough for the both of us. One of us can be number 2.
Mm-hmm. And the other great thing about this match, too, is that once again, it's mostly story orientated. There's not a lot of moves, thankfully. You know, like you said, does 5 top rope elbows. 1's enough to beat a regular man. 5 should be enough to beat the Ultimate Warrior, and it's still not. And Warrior doing the Gorilla Slam and the splash, and he kicks out of that and starts doing the, this shtick. And
have to do?
God bless Gorilla, putting it over on commentary, all that stuff they had to do. And even watching it as a kid, as a kid, I mean, it was 91, so I'm 15 at the time. But watching this is like, what the hell is happening here? Really? They're going this way? All right, I'm in. I'm buying it. Okay, cool. And then Sherry gets involved, and then Macho gets out there, and bing, bang, boom, Snape's favorites. And all of a sudden, Warrior makes the big comeback. It was a little annoying, though, that Warrior does the tackle, and then Randy falls out of the ring, and he has to go get him and throw him back in. And then do the tackle again, and he falls out of the ring, get him back in, and go through. I understand why they're doing that, but it just seemed like it was taking too long. And you're going to get to the finish in a second, Levi, but this is back when you couldn't really tell when a finish was coming, and the commentary completely steamrolls right over it. Because Bobby's like, you can't beat him. You can't beat this man. He won't beat him. Well, guess what? Within a few minutes of him saying that, or a few seconds, the finish comes. And hit it, Levi.
So, yeah, the finish, we get another Gorilla Press, Gorilla Press tackle, and then the big splash. 1, 2, 3. Ultimate Warrior defeated Randy Savage with one foot
on him.
Yep. With 1 foot on him. Then the post-match, we see
Warrior puts his coat on and gets the fuck out of there as quick as possible, because really, it didn't really matter what the finish was. The post-match.
Right.
Yeah, so the post-match, after Savage lost, Sherry takes her heels off and gets in, starts slapping and kicking the crap out of Savage. And then Elizabeth's like, I've had enough, comes over to barricade, runs into the ring.
Fan interference. Where's security?
No security.
Yeah, comes in, grabs Sherry by the hair, and tossed her ass out of the ring. And then Savage has no idea what's going on. Like, he doesn't know if it was Warrior hitting him or if it was Sherry or whatever. And then he sees Elizabeth, they lock eyes. What are you doing here? And then...
What the hell are you doing here, huh?
And then look around.
On here, the Macho King don't know what is happening right now, and the confusion in my mind is telling me I don't know what I'm going through.
And then after some looking around and some tears, the big hug that made the fans cry and led to the reuniting of Elizabeth and Savage.
One of the most emotional moments in wrestling history.
All time.
Absolutely. Especially now, given the fact that neither of them are with us to this day.
Everyone in this match was gone.
Nope, everybody was there. The only one still alive is Hebner.
Yeah, which is insane.
Mm-hmm.
But in the end, Ultimate Warrior defeated Randy Savage in 20 minutes, 47 seconds. One of the best matches in WrestleMania history. And
I will also say, this was supposed to be Randy's swan song. That's why Warrior took 5 elbow drops and kicked out.
Mm-hmm.
This was supposed to be the end of Randy's career. Him and Elizabeth wanted to start a family. He wanted to get on and off cycle, and this was going to be it. I think he did wrestle a couple of matches after this to fulfill obligations, but this was going to be a legit retirement. But, hey, pal, we need you.
Hey, we gotta
I gotta go back to work. If you're working with the Snake Man, yeah.
Yeah, pal, I had to suspend Warrior, so yeah,
I couldn't wait to fire him.
I owe you one
too. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I owe you one, pal.
But like I said, I felt like the show peaked at this point because there was no chance in hell of anything following this. But unfortunately, the next match, Jintaro Tenryu and Koji Katao versus Demolition Smash and Crush, had to. And,
poor Demolition.
After intermission, too.
Not even Demolition. Not even Demolition at this point.
No.
It's Axe is gone. It's just Smash and Crush.
Yep, and this is part of the SWS deal. You know, trying to keep the connection with Japan going on at this time, and Tenryu Katao, nobody there knows who they are, why they're there. Demolition's not Demolition. This is after intermission. It's popcorn match, so crowd doesn't care.
Yeah,
it's a flat finish. No chemistry whatsoever in this match. Just done. Over.
The only notable thing is Kvlt about a month later had his shoot with Earthquake.
I was just about to get to that. The only thing I know about Koji Kvlt is the damn where he shot on Earthquake.
Yeah.
Wrestling's fake. I beat you in a real fight.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So basically, Koji Kvlt, to summarize in one word, dickhead.
Mm-hmm.
But
2 words.
1 word, 2 syllables.
Yeah.
Kvlt would also have his own promotion in Japan for a brief time. It was like one of those work-shoot promotions at the time. I know Al Snow worked there, Taz worked there, plenty of other talent too. I mean, I saw a couple of the matches there, and they're okay, but nothing out of the ordinary crazy. Didn't last very long. And of course, Tenryu, though, is a legend in Japanese wrestling and always will be. So
He'd be in and out of the WWF over the next few years.
yeah, yep. And yes, Arthur, the theme for Demolition here is, it's just like basic horror movie background theme
It's their
music.
heel theme.
I thought it was all right. It's nowhere near as good as
It's not
the classic.
Demolition, though.
It's
But,
not Derringer. It's not Rick Derringer's
No.
version of it. I still like the version before Derringer's, the theme music version before Derringer did it better myself. That was a little bit more grindy.
And they also had Mr. Fuji back as their manager for some reason.
Yeah.
Yes. Because continuity doesn't matter.
Yeah. But in the end, Tenryu and Kvlt defeated Demolition in 4 minutes 44 seconds.
Hey,
Now-
Sean. Thanks for stopping in, man.
Now moving into a match where the crowd picks up a little bit to the second of 3 championship matches for the WWF Intercontinental Championship. Champion Mr. Perfect with Bobby Heenan versus the Big Boss Man. And I like the build to this match where Boss Man had just had enough of Bobby Heenan shit and wanted to go through the entire Heenan family until he got to the crown jewel, Mr. Perfect, and get the Intercontinental Championship. And he finally gets it here at WrestleMania. And the match itself, another pretty damn good title match. Boss Man and Perfect, really good.
And good promos
Hell
before
yeah.
the match
Yeah,
on both
absolutely.
ends. Yeah, really good.
Yeah, I've always felt like Boss Man or Ray Trailer, very underrated on the mic, I will say.
Mhm.
But yeah, as much as I liked the match itself, hated the finish to this. Absolutely hated the finish to this. So,
We had the return of Andre the Giant in this.
Right.
yes. Which was really cool to
He
see.
grabbed the belt, walked around the entire ring, smacked Perfect,
Yep.
and then you thought it was over, and then came the Heenan family.
Yeah.
Yep. Throw it out at that point.
Yeah,
You got to give Trailer credit too on how much he's able to keep up with Hennig in this match. He's slipping out of the ring, he's slipping back in, he's going back and forth with him, and Hennig doing the whirly twirl shit he always loved to do, selling stuff, and do a great job. This gets more of the foo I mentioned earlier, using the post and the stairs and all that stuff. Heenan gets a couple of quick cheap shots. That's what brings Andre out, and Andre looked like he was straight from the honeycomb commercial with the sideburns going there. But
This was also supposed to be the beginning of Andre's comeback, but that obviously didn't happen.
right.
Yeah. But I always look at this match and understanding the story heading in. If I was in charge of booking this match, I would have had Boss Man go over clean and get the belt. Because after all, you build up Boss Man to go through everyone until he got the IC title. Logic would dictate he would get the belt. Even if it was only going to be a 1
think
month.
the idea was for him to get the Intercontinental Championship. It was just to go through everybody and get revenge on Perfect.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Especially for what you were going to be setting up later on, you had to have Perfect still with the belt.
Yeah, there is that fact too. I mean, it's booking wise. Hey, that's it's always creatively. It's subjective. It's not something that is a set science. Who knows? A set pattern of any kind. So who knows? It could have gone that way. You could have automatically gone into a program with Boss Man and Mountie over the IC title instead of doing what they did. So I mean, that is kind of ready made there too. But it's more to just keep the heat on the Heenan family. Boss Man gets a win, and he gets the rub from Andre after the match. Andre does the good job, raises his hand and all that stuff. So that's really a big badge of honor there too. Like Andre's putting you over after you have a match at WrestleMania. It's pretty big still at that time.
Well, I will admit it would have been cool to see Boss Man with a belt during his first initial run because he didn't have one, but he didn't really need one either.
Nope, one of those guys that just was good enough. You know, belts make guys don't make belts, and he was made. So,
but moving from that, we get another enhancement match: Earthquake with Jimmy Hart versus Greg the Hammer Valentine. All I'm gonna say is,
as a babyface, by the way, babyface Greg Valentine, which made no sense.
Weird to think. It's weird to think. But
I guess it made sense to do this match because Valentine had just left Jimmy Hart. You have a Jimmy Hart guy face Valentine, and Jimmy Hart's biggest guy at this point was Earthquake.
Right.
Plus, they had to give Earthquake something after losing a bunch to Hogan.
Yeah.
Give him a big win at WrestleMania. Plus, this is near the beginning of the natural disasters. Right afterwards, they'd form that team, so it worked.
Yep.
But in the end, after the Earthquake splash, Earthquake defeated Greg Valentine in 3 minutes 14 seconds. Moving right along to the next match, we get another enhancement match. Legion of Doom, Hawk and Animal versus Power and Glory, Paul Roma and Hercules with Slick. All I got to say is, well, this match was fucking short, as Legion of Doom defeated Power and Glory in 59 seconds. Moving on. Moving on to the next match, Virgil with Roddy Piper versus Ted DiBiase, and this was in the beginning of their...
You mean Mr. DiBiase's opponent? That's what they called Virgil during Piper's entrance. Here's the man who's going to be in the corner of Mr. DiBiase's opponent.
Yeah, like, really?
Why don't you just give him Homer Simpson's opponent robe?
Oh, wow.
But anyway, so the build-up to this match goes back to the Royal Rumble after Ted DiBiase's match that night, demanding Virgil to give him the $1 million title. Turns around, belt shot to the face, and then
did give it to him.
Yeah, he gave it to him, all right.
Yeah. And then over the next couple of months, you'd see the gradual build with Piper trying to coach Virgil in the ring, trying to help him out to get his revenge. And this match, honestly, felt more like a segment, personally, than a match, because you fast forward to SummerSlam, and these two had a great match at that show. So This was more or less just a teaser for what would come a few months later. So that's why
we'll spell man, VIRGIL.
Yeah, yep. And it really seemed like the match was more to get Piper over than Virgil. Because Piper is selling the knee at ringside a lot and getting pushed down by DiBiase.
Just have surgery at this point?
The motorcycle accident, at least that's what was announced.
Yeah.
And he's climbing the guardrail, and he's got the fans helping him get up. And then even, we'll get to the finish of the match in a minute, but even after the match is over, Virgil's telling Piper to get up. Like, wait a minute, who wrestled the match? Who's the babyface we're supposed to be cheering here? And it just seemed like it was more just to get Piper over.
Yeah, thankfully they would correct this heading into SummerSlam. So.
Yes, they would. Yes, they would. So.
But yeah, and then the finish, another thing that hurts this match. I thought this match was like I said, you fast forward to SummerSlam, these two had an amazing match. But yeah, the finish, Piper with the crutch trying to stop DiBiase. DiBiase with the right hand tries to get back in the ring, but Piper holding him back. And Virgil defeated Ted DiBiase via countout. Post-match, saw Sherry come back out to help DiBiase annihilate both Virgil and Piper.
Yep.
And
beginning of that pairing.
And that is actually, Sherry made a few interviews about that. They said, okay, we're going to be doing the thing with Elizabeth coming back. We're going to be putting you with Ted DiBiase. The first thing Sherry always did when she was put with a new wrestler was call that wrestler's wife to make sure they understood what the relationship is going to be. And everything was cool and everything was fine. And DiBiase, of course, his wife is going to be knowing about the business. Of course, Randy and Elizabeth spoke to Sherry about the idea of her becoming his manager, and they all had the powwow together, and they kind of gave her the blessing to do it. And then Elizabeth could go home, and they always remained very good friends and very close. Sherry was even given a necklace by Elizabeth, and I think she gave something to her too when it was all over as a thank you. And so Sherry always total pro when it came to working with a new wrestler.
Yep.
All-time great managers ever, male or female, didn't matter.
And now moving into the penultimate match of WrestleMania 7. You guessed it, another enhancement match.
I am the Mountie.
The Mountie
I always hit my man.
The Mountie with Jimmy Hart versus Tito Santana. Another match that was so short that it's not even worth it, as the Mountie defeated Tito Santana in 1 minute 21 seconds. Now,
the Mountie always gets his man.
James, ladies and gentlemen, yes, the humming of James. Yes.
that was better. That was better than this match, honestly.
James, you better start fucking doing that in your videos. God damn, that's good stuff. Start humming the intro to your video.
Moving on.
Main event time.
Main event time.
The third and final championship match of the night.
Ted Hut.
How do you hum a drum roll? There you go.
All right. World
so
Wrestling Federation Championship match.
Champion Sergeant Slaughter with General Adnan versus Hulk Hogan, who, by the way, you could say unofficially got the shot by winning the Rumble match, but that wasn't a thing yet. But when you look back, yeah, it fits together. But another match with a little highlight package before the match started. You go back to Survivor Series, where Slaughter turned to an Iraqi sympathizer before the Gulf War happened. And then what's ironic...
That was even before the Survivor Series. That was back at SummerSlam when he turned.
Oh, I thought it was Survivor Series when he turned. But yeah, then of course stuff like burning Hulk Hogan's shirt and all this and that. And it's funny to think that he started doing this before the Gulf War happened, and then just right before this show, the Gulf War was over. Very weird how that happened. 4 days before this show.
Well, no, the Gulf War was 4 days. That's it.
Well, there you go.
Even though we're still there for some reason, but yeah, the Gulf War itself was only like 4 days.
Mm-hmm.
This right here, Sergeant Slaughter heel turn and the character and all that stuff around this time, it got a lot of heat.
Ooh, yeah.
However, it was not the heat you drew with.
No.
Hence why you didn't get 100,000 people in the LA Coliseum.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. When Slaughter's wife is being told that they're being watched and they want to make sure, like, they sent double security to their house to make sure everyone's okay when he's on the road, and they got to have police escorts, it was getting really, really bad. As James said, it's not the kind of heat you want. You want the heat that draws people into the show, not scurries them away, because people were not liking this whole situation.
Go away heat. This was like go away heat.
Yeah.
We
don't want to see this. But what else did they have at the time? And WWE at this time has always been, always pro USA. Us against them. Whatever enemy is against America at the time, it's supposed to be a reflection of life, right? So they're gonna capitalize on that all the time.
Funny thing is, initially the rumored plan for this was not supposed to be Slaughter.
Nope.
It was supposed to be Tugboat.
Mm-hmm.
And Tugboat even admitted that, that was a plan talked about.
Yep.
That they were going to turn him heel, give him the belt. Yeah, that we almost had Shockmaster as the WWF champion.
God.
Technically, yes. Shockmaster hadn't happened yet. Shockmaster hadn't happened yet, but Uncle Fred would have been champion.
But luckily, Slaughter said, you know what? I'm going to come back to the company. I'll do this angle. And yeah, but despite everything in the build and just not the right heat, Hogan and Slaughter put on a pretty good match here.
They did, but I do need to say something. It wasn't on the network version, but in the real version, in Hogan's interview, you get a classic Mike Botch where he's talking, Sergeant Slaughter's reign as the WWF champion will be just like, you know what I mean,
the
brother.
Rumble. That was at the Rumble.
Oh, that was at the
right
Rumble.
That was right after Slaughter won the belt and right before the Rumble match.
Oh, why do I get my timeline so mixed up? Anyways. But yeah, this was a pretty good main event to the show. Again, despite everything, Hogan and Slaughter was a good match.
A lot of people hate this match because of the storyline and stuff. And I can understand people not... It's all subjective.
Mhm.
However, personally, despite everything heading into it, to put on a really good main event.
Yeah.
And the crowd's into it. The crowd is into it. That's what you got to say. After 13 other matches, and this is a 3.5-hour show, they're still into it. They're still hot. They're still popping for Hogan. And anything that Slaughter does, they're booing the shit out of him. And they do just enough. It was pretty long shine, too. Hogan gets a lot on Slaughter near the beginning of the match. And then finally you get the heat going. And it takes a while. You get the Kvlt clutch in there and everything else. And Hogan gigs and gets the big
after one of the few times back during this time period where you see a headshot with a chair. Blah! And then color, which, again, didn't see very much of unless it was Hardway.
And it's the only time you see color on this show.
Yep.
So do it when it makes sense. Do it when it counts.
Mm-hmm.
But also, heading into this, Slaughter was talking about, hey, I don't necessarily have to beat Hogan. I just have to retain.
Mm-hmm.
So they were teasing maybe a disqualification here,
right,
because that he would keep the belt. You weren't going to do it. Who would book a DQ in the main event of WrestleMania?
Oh, God, no. That would never happen.
No, that would be, it wasn't, yeah. We wouldn't, blah, 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 blah. We would get that next year.
This is, though, the first guy that Hogan's main eventing with at WrestleMania who's not a big muscle head and not a giant.
Yeah.
Because he would be, of course, it was Piper and Orndorff. Then it was King Kong Bundy, a giant, technically.
Then
it was Andre,
2 years in a row. Then Savage. Then
Warrior.
He's a musclehead. Warrior. He's a musclehead. Here's like a regular looking guy who's a wrestler. It's like, it was the guy who could give Hogan a fight. It wasn't going to be power versus power. It wasn't going to be any kind of, Hogan trying to overcome the big monster or the big mountain. Here's a guy who looks like he was going to give Hogan a straight fight. And they put off a good match in that characterization.
Yep. And then, of course, we get the Hogan comeback into the leg drop. 1, 2, 3. Hulk Hogan defeated Sergeant Slaughter to become the new WWF champion in 20 minutes, 26 seconds.
And the first time somebody had ever won 3 WWF championships.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Yep.
And Hogan
back when winning a world title more than twice was a big deal.
Huge.
Nowadays, doesn't mean a damn thing.
Nope.
So, overall, WrestleMania 7...
Well, for someone like me...
I honestly don't know how to describe this show, personally. It's like, was it a bad show? Hell no, it wasn't.
No.
Was it a great show? No, if anything, it was a good WrestleMania. Although, 14 matches, a bunch of enhancement matches that did not need to be on the show. If I understand you want to put as many people on the card, but there's a simple way to do that. Have a battle royal and build up someone new for a mid-card or world title.
Yep.
You could have done that to save time on some of these matches and added to others that needed it.
All the main matches, they all delivered. To me, this was a really good show.
Yeah. And I'm going to do a quick plug for James here, because if you go to We Are Pro Wrestling, he just did a video about WrestleMania 3. Go check it out. And because he makes a very good point in the fact of WrestleMania 3 set the template for what WrestleManias would follow later on, where you had a ton of matches on the show, but 3 really big marquee matches that were the big focus of the shows. And this one is just like that. So it follows that trend that they were doing back at the time. And again, not a lot of pay-per-views yet. We don't have one big pay-per-view happening every month yet. So it's still getting into that trend at the time. So back then, it was even a bigger thing to see WrestleMania instead of, oh, okay, what's the pay-per-view before WrestleMania? 3 weeks ahead or 4 weeks ahead? Oh, it's this one. All right, well, 4 weeks later is WrestleMania. No, you had to wait to get there and really build up that anticipation for it. So, and it's not the big weekend extravaganza. There's no big fan fest things and access going out at this time. It's a whole different generation, my generation. So it was nostalgia as hell for me because I remember the time frame and what was going on in the world at that time and watching this show, and it just brought back a lot of memories for me. Same thing though, good show, fair show, not great, but not horrible.
Yeah.
Business-wise, it was one of the biggest failures in WrestleMania history. However, as the show itself, they made the best out of it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So now on to favorite, least favorite, and sleeper match of the night. For me, favorite match goes to Warrior Savage, easily. Least favorite? There are quite a few matches on this card that I could put into this category, but if I'm going to pick one, I'm going to say Tenryu Kitao versus Demolition. And then for the sleeper, there are a few matches on this card that you could put in the sleeper category, but if I'm going to pick one, I'm going to go Bulldog Warlord, actually.
Okay.
Scott?
Yep, totally fair, man. My favorite on the show is the blindfold match. Like I said, pure psychology, nothing to do with moves. It's all about audience interaction, and it was just off the charts in that case. Once again, the match I never got to have. Least favorite, yeah, I'm right there with you. I'm probably going to say that tag match too, Demolition, Tenryu Kitao, because it just falls apart. There's no chemistry whatsoever in the teams. Tenryu wins. Nobody cares at that point. At least like when Kerry Von Erich beats Dino, the crowd pops. When Earthquake beats Valentine, the crowd's like, oh, there's reactions. There was nothing for that tag match. And for the sleeper, for me, Heart Foundation, Nasty Boys, the tag title match is a damn near perfect tag match that all wrestlers looking to get into business should watch if they want to know about tag wrestling psychology.
James?
My favorite was the retirement match. My least favorite was the demolition tag. A sleeper, have to go with the main event. Hogan Slaughter. A really good main event. The crowd was into it, and the good guy won in the end.
Yep.
There you go.
And now, Push Job Endeavor. What do we got for this
This is going to
one?
be interesting.
Yep. Well, I picked 3 guys that, one of these guys is actually sticking with an angle, but the other 2 not really. So the 3 names to throw at you this week, gentlemen, and everybody in the chats are the Big Boss Man, Rick Martel, and Ted DiBiase.
Ooh.
Who you pushing, who you jobbing, future endeavoring. Now, you don't have to take into account what actually happens in real life, okay? You don't have to worry about that. This is completely fantasy booking-wise. Who would you get rid of, who would you push, and who would you job?
So it's Martel, DiBiase.
Martel, Bossman, DiBiase. We were talking about this earlier with Bossman not getting the IC title. Well,
I'm gonna
would you want
go. I'm gonna go. Oh, jeez. I'm gonna go push Bossman, job DiBiase, Endeavor Martel.
Martel, okay. James, what do you say?
I'm going to push DiBiase, job Bossman, Endeavor Martel.
Okay. Interesting. Could. Yeah, and even for me, it was like, well, what are we going to do with this one? Well, probably, I would say at this point, Bossman's getting crazy over, so I'm pushing Bossman. I would probably Endeavor Martel as well and job DiBiase. We know that eventually he would form the tag team and all that stuff, but that's neither here nor there in this situation. But yeah, I think we're all three of us would endeavor Martel, but yeah, I'm pushing Boss Man too, and Job and DiBiase.
So, and then Russell said, push Boss Man, Job DiBiase, Endeavor Martel. Ricky, push Boss Man, Job Martel, Endeavor DiBiase.
Arthur doesn't care. Arthur's giving his own. I like that.
Arthur gave his own, push Bret Hart, Job Demolition, Endeavor the Warlord.
Nice.
Fine,
Backney, Miss
That's
Backney.
Backney too. Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Sorry,
Backney
Terry.
food.
Bye. Sorry, Terry. You got to go.
All right, so now let's
Question.
hang out and answer
What?
questions and
Yes.
talk some stuff. So I'm going back through the whole chat to find questions. So earlier, Arthur asked, "Do y'all think?" Trying to read this.
You need glasses, old man?
No, I don't need glasses. It's just I'm trying to figure out how he's wording this. I'll skip that one for now. He asked, which matches do you think should not have been on this card? Well, as I brought up earlier,
demolition
the
match?
enhancement matches should not have been on this card.
Okay.
Personally,
Some of them, yes. Some of them, yes. The demolition match should not have been on here.
I mean, one enhancement match that definitely should be on there was the Taker match.
yes,
That definitely should.
Yeah.
Dino Carey didn't need to be on there. Mountie Tito Santana did need to be on there.
LOD had to be on there.
Who did? I'm sorry.
LOD had to be on.
Yes, LOD. Yeah, they had to be on there. Earthquake Valentine didn't need to be on there. And was there? I think that was pretty much it as far as like enhancement match. The Taker match should be on there. LOD, Power and Glory. If you took out those three matches we just talked about, LOD, Power and Glory could add a little bit more time if necessary. But yeah, that's what I would say with that.
Yeah. I guess that other question Arthur was trying to ask about, like, who was hottest at WrestleMania? I'd say Sherry.
Sherry.
Oh, hell yeah.
Especially them
Mhm.
ass shots. Ooh.
Oh,
Well, actually, the ass shots were nice, but Marla Maples was pretty hot too.
Yeah, that's true. Oh, yeah, completely forgot. I completely forgot all the celebrity involvement on this night.
Willie
yeah,
Nelson.
Willie Nelson, younger Donald Trump. Willie Nelson, Regis Philbin, Alex Trebek, may he rest in peace. Macaulay Culkin.
Willie Nelson with the toy belt.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
I had
a shirt
that
that had
Chuck
the
Norris.
Coliseum on it.
Yeah, Chuck Norris and Lou Ferrigno.
Oh yeah, and Fonzie was there.
Henry Winkler.
Hey.
Henry Winkler. Hey.
Hey.
So yeah, a lot of celebrities. It's Los
And
Angeles, of course.
There was
They're gonna-
also a segment, I don't know if you guys saw it or not, where they had a debate on instant replay.
No, I skipped that.
With McMahon and some of the baseball guys or whatever.
I didn't see that.
I think it was on the live version, and they cut it.
Mm-hmm.
Arthur actually had a third question. He asked, do you think there will ever be a WrestleMania in the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum in the near future? No.
No,
Well, they're going to
not with the new stadium.
the new
Nope.
stadium for the Rams.
Mhm.
Which, honestly, that's the perfect place. If you're going to do a Mania in LA, that's the perfect place to do it, is at the Rams Stadium.
I believe that's set for a
Next
couple
year?
years from now. or
Next
what-
year or
Next
the
year,
year
Dallas.
after?
Next year is Dallas. The following
Then
year
it's
is
LA. Alright, that
Mhm.
makes sense.
2023.
I am still waiting, and you know what? I think this might be a question I got asked on my 5 Questions with Levi show. If there was a dream place for WrestleMania, I'm still saying Indianapolis, for God's sakes. Just come to the Colt Stadium. There's a fucking roof. You don't have to worry about cold weather. Come on. Just so that way James and I could have a central place to meet up, for God's sakes.
Mhm.
I would love another WrestleMania in Detroit. I would love a Mania in Vegas with that new stadium.
Maybe that could be a future one here in the next 4 to 5 years.
Mhm.
That very well could be one. Trying to find the other questions that were asked from earlier. I know there was a few more. I just so many. Zach asks, anyone here addicted to crack?
Peter, what are you doing?
Arthur's
Crack?
question was,
What
did
the fuck? Where'd you get crack? From Black's?
what the fuck?
Black's hardware store. There's a white guy selling it.
Peter. All right, Brian.
David took my baby.
Hey, Peter, I was just coming to check on you. Oh my god!
Oh my god!
Government came and took my baby!
Jackass.
Oh, by the way, Scott. Wait.
Can I hear
I
it?
know
Can I
about
hear it?
Stone Cold. I know all about your
don't hear
kind. Because I had a jackass.
I hear nothing.
I
I heard
love
nothing.
that jackass. And one day I had to kill that jackass.
Oh, there it is.
And I'm going to kill you all soon. Because I had a jackass. I love that jackass.
Yep, I hear it now. I am an alert on Twitch. How cool is that?
Well, hey, you brought it on yourself by doing that just randomly.
Damn right.
And
Damn
now
right.
Nia Jax's hole appears out of nowhere.
Head like a hole. Black ass is so.
Oh, you're going 9-inch nails on my ass now, huh?
Yeah, that's right.
This is brown people.
Alright, so anyways, Russell asked, what do y'all feel about Lashley getting the belt? I feel giving The Miz the belt was to get rid of Money in the Bank. Yeah, and again, I mean, yeah, Lashley may be having the best run of his career in the company right now, but still,
Yep.
it feels like it's too little too late.
No, it's not. It's perfect.
I personally didn't think they were going to do it.
rebuilt him over the last year, and right now it's perfect.
Yeah, I did not think they were going to pull the trigger on him like that soon after Miz gets it, but they did, and I got to say, I do think it's way overdue.
Absolutely.
Way overdue.
Way
Because he's had so much shit over the past few years. But finally giving it to him, strongest run he's ever had. The Hurt Business is one of the best factions in the business, bar none right now.
MVP is the true MVP.
You know it.
As much credit as we want to give Bobby Lashley,
Mhm.
MVP deserves just as much credit.
Yep.
Yeah.
I mean, Lashley now gets another resurgence in his career as champion. Shelton Benjamin got another big resurgence in his career, once again champion. Cedric Alexander, biggest push in his career, now a tag champion, not cruiserweight, but a tag champion in the company. So representing the strongest faction they got going right now.
And you know,
MVP's the best manager in the business.
Yes,
right now,
absolutely.
yeah. Neck and neck with Scarlett Bordeaux, but that's just me.
That's apples and oranges, right? That's apples and oranges right there. Come on.
But real quick,
That's melons and oranges.
But
Nice.
real quick, you know what I honestly felt like they could have done with the Hurt Business to add like another pure wrestler in the group? Drew Gulak. And they teased it, but then they beat him up. It would have been cool to have Drew Gulak in the group. And also, he was 24/7 champion, even though that's a parody belt. You would have had another belt in the group. You know?
Yeah, he could have been like the Owen Hart of the group. Like,
yeah,
you know,
he could have. Yeah,
like,
absolutely. Yeah. And there you go. That's a good
Human
good
use of
comparison.
animal
At this
penis
point,
is
turn the Hurt Business babyface.
Yeah.
It seems like it's going to go that way. You know, it almost seems like the Hurt Business is. I'm trying to find the right words for this. The Hurt Business is like the serious New Day.
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about? Like, I mean, the New Day, fantastic. From day one, you knew they were going to be influential. And yeah, they were heels, but I knew that eventually they were going to turn babyfaces because they were just too entertaining.
Yeah.
Hurt Business is like they're entertaining, but they're straight up more wrestling orientated, more Hurt Business, you know? And if things were different right now, you could totally have seen a Hurt Business New Day full on feud going.
Absolutely.
That would just like run the business right now. So I think it would be
Mm-hmm.
fantastic to see that. But yeah, I'm loving what they're doing with those guys right now, and good on Lashley. He deserves it. Way overdue, like I said. But yeah, we'll see what happens to happen. We'll see what happens.
I say
WrestleMania.
screw Drew. Let Bobby have the belt the rest of the year.
Mm-hmm.
Give
what
us
happens.
Roman versus Bobby at Survivor Series.
Yep.
That would be
Yeah.
good.
That would be good. And that
because they did have a really damn good match at what was it, Extreme Rules 2018, I think. Somewhere.
It's been so long.
It'd been a while.
I have so many pay-per-views. I forget what
dude,
matches
tell me
they
about it.
win.
Yeah. I'm totally I'm oblivious. You guys are able to like pull matches out of your head. I was like, I have no freaking clue when that was. But it's too many chair shots. But that's why I lost all my hair. But so all that's what. It's not funny. It's true. Stop laughing at my pain.
It's Zach going insane again.
Oh, yeah, what's that? Worcestershire. Worcestershire. Worcestershire.
But back to
anyway.
Back to Lashley. I got no idea who in the hell he could go up against at Mania now, unless it is Drew.
Unless it is
Drew. It's gonna be Drew.
It's got to be.
I mean, it should be Drew, but yeah.
I mean, I don't want him to turn Drew heel. I don't want him to go that route.
No.
And I just don't think that's the right thing to do.
Unless they bring Brock back.
Right. I think that's a rumor. It's a possible three-way, possible triple threat at WrestleMania.
They could do Bobby. You know what? This is just me thinking. Maybe they have Brock in quarantine right now.
It's possible.
They'll do Bobby. They'll do Bobby and Drew at Fastlane. Brock makes a what the fuck is he doing here? Triple threat at Mania. Brock takes the pin.
Because Lashley's always said that's his dream match. He wants Lesnar. They were hopefully going to do that like in Saudi Arabia. It never happened. So that's if they could give him that match. I'd rather see it one-on-one. Yeah. But then what do you do with Drew? We don't know. If they make it a triple threat, fine. If we got Edge and Roman for the Universal title, awesome.
Plus, there's two nights.
Two nights, exactly. So, and it doesn't mean, by the way, that really the Universal title and the WWE title need to be the last match, by the way. There could be other matches. Incidentally, coming up this week on my channel, be watching on Mr. Scott Reacts because I have a proposal to the WWE as it pertains to WrestleMania's format. It's coming out Thursday. Be watching for it.
Now, they could always do Bobby and Brock one-on-one and have Drew and Sheamus with no belt. What a fucking awesome match on Raw.
They did. Yeah, they did. Yeah. Or Bobby Drew night 1, winner gets Brock night 2. If they wanted to do something.
Yeah, you could do something like that.
Or vice versa. Or Bobby and Brock night 1, winner gets Drew the next night. Whatever.
Yeah.
There's a part of me that thinks they have Brock in quarantine right now and they're keeping it a secret from everybody.
I think that's very valid. I think you're right, man.
But don't you know Brock's coming to AEW? He's the surprise.
Yeah.
Okay, let's get this out of the way. Who do you think the surprise Hall of Famer is going to be tomorrow? Total disappointment.
Okay. I don't know.
Watch it be Ryback or somebody. No, wait.
It's going to be Punk.
Watch it be Paul White. No, I'm the Hall of Famer. I'm the Hall of Fame talent. I'm the only one serious. Something, turn heel.
Oh, boy. Anyways, I mean, if I had to choose what I think should main event each night, night 1, I would have that be Fiend Orton. Night 2, Edge Roman.
Yeah, I definitely think Edge Roman is going to be the last match of night 2, and that's it.
You could have main event night 1 be the SmackDown Women's title.
That's what I was thinking. I think
SmackDown be the main event of both nights.
And I think Belair.
Well, the only problem I have with Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks, I feel like there's no the story's not big enough or interesting enough to be a main event.
We got time to go.
We got time, but
we'll have both Rumble winners being in the main event of their respective nights.
I mean, go back to this past year's WrestleMania. Charlotte and Rhea were night 2 first match, and it was like the best fucking match of the night. of that night. So I mean,
I feel like in that sense, I feel like that match would benefit more from opening to get things hot going, and then because I feel like you should do a cinematic match as the main event of night one if it's going to be cinematic with Fiend and Orton, because after all, that's been the big story of Raw. So you could have Raw main event night one, SmackDown main event night two.
Good point. That's a good point too.
So I mean, and also, yeah. The feud with Fiend and Orton, the feud's been great, and they've done a good job, unlike with Triple H in 2000, of keeping the Fiend off TV.
Yep, and Alexa has just been fantastic in her role. The best performance she's ever been able to give to the camera and to the fans and all that stuff. And she's able to really let loose and dig into something really, really good.
Yeah. Let's see. Ricky asks, thoughts on somebody like Naomi being added to the Hurt Business? I feel like if they didn't have Bianca as a babyface, I feel Bianca would have been a better fit for the Hurt Business than Naomi.
Yeah. Could see that. And Naomi is straight up babyface right now, and it looks like her and Lana are going to be a tag team.
Or another person that could have been a good fit in the Hurt Business, again, if she wasn't babyface, or whatever, Shayna Baszler.
I would have just said Ember Moon.
Could always turn Rhea. Like, you want Rhea as a big babyface.
Yeah.
And I guess that it sounds like we're going to get Charlotte Asuka again for the Raw Women's title at WrestleMania. I think that's the way it's going. I could be wrong.
Apparently, Asuka was supposed to lose the women's title to Lacey until
Lacey got pregnant and Asuka got teeth knocked out by Shayna. So she's off TV for a little bit. But I think they're going to want to do Charlotte and Asuka. So maybe we're going to get Charlotte and Rhea rematch, and Rhea's going to get the win back. I don't know, but because right now Charlotte don't lose at WrestleMania.
She loses every other year.
Doesn't get pinned though.
Yeah.
Like the 3-way at 32, she didn't get pinned.
She won at 32. She got pinned in the 4-way. 33.
At 33, yeah.
It's not a singles match though. That's my point being.
It was elimination though.
Yeah, it's elimination. So one-on-one matchup.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. But yeah, and the more I keep talking about Fiend and Orton makes me want that fucking moment where Orton's
wish it into existence.
I know. Do it, WWE.
Do it.
Just do it, WWE. Have a moment during the match if it's gonna be a Firefly Funhouse match. Have fucking Orton tied up to a chair, and you have fucking Cena as a drill sergeant acting all Full Metal Jacket on Orton. That would be the funniest fucking thing ever.
Just don't you know Cena's going to AEW too?
All White, what have you started?
Oh, don't you know that after WrestleMania, Orton's going to AEW, man?
It's going to be a Hall of Fame level talent. Of course, Kurt Angle had that troll video earlier of him lacing up his boots.
Oh, Lord. Zach just commented, I don't know, but I've been told unwashed pussy is getting old. Nice.
Bottle full and a tank full of gas, handful of pussy and a mouthful of ass.
Ricky.
I don't know what I've been told. Eskimo pussy is mighty cold.
What's a meat I hate to miss? Kibbles and bits and bits and bits.
So y'all look too young to know that one.
Right. Ricky commented, I'm going to call it right now. Rollins versus Cesaro, best match of Mania this year. No, Edge and Roman's going to be the best match of Mania this year.
Yeah.
Cesaro Rollins will be great.
Match that sells the most tickets is the best match.
Damn right.
Not always the case.
Seriously, well, look, but in terms of story and all, it's going to be Edge and Roman.
Oh yeah, it's got to be. Yep.
Ricky said WWE won't do it since they didn't go with my booking of Adam Pearce winning the title. That was a good idea, and it's stupid that they didn't even at least go through with having the match.
We're going to have Strowman versus Shane and Pierce in a handicap match.
That seems like it. It should be in that Raw.
So Shane can jump off the...
They should do that handicap match in the Raw Underground set.
So Shane can jump off the pirate ship at Tampa Stadium.
Oh, yes. Lord. That would be crazy.
Owens wanted to do that. So.
God, what's he doing? Oh my, for the love of mankind!
Oh. I will never forgive Vince McMahon for feeding that line to Michael Cole. Like, and in the camera, you can clearly see him reading it off of a fucking
For
script.
the love of mankind. Emotional.
Yeah. Draws lots of heat. Did I ever tell you guys that story? Never tell you guys that story. Okay.
What story?
I wasn't on this show. It was an indie show in the area that I was kind of working in. And I heard about the show. I wasn't asked to be on it. Levi's losing this freaking mind. Let me tell you something, brother. So, I wasn't on this show, like I said, but a bunch of guys I know were on it. The guy running it had no fucking clue what he was doing. Steve somebody was his name. A total fucking mark idiot. Had no idea what he was doing. Didn't belong to business. But he had money, so he think he could put on a show. So the wrestlers show up and everything like that. And the promoter, Steve, hands everyone the script. It's an indie show. It's not on TV. He had written an actual script for the show. To the point where it says, so-and-so cuts promo in ring, draws lots of heat.
What?
This fucking idiot actually had the balls to write this down on the script. So, one of my buddies kept that, and whenever he was in another locker room or whatever, and there was some kind of dispute going on in the locker room, he said, "Hold on, boys! I got the script!" and would whip that out. Right here, draw lots of heat.
My lord.
Yep.
For an indie show.
That's for an indie show, yes. The first show this guy's ever running, by the way. I
bet you love whipping it out.
Isn't it better when the marks were sitting in the crowd?
Anyways, Russell asks, did you hear about The Undertaker on the Joe Rogan podcast talking about how he thought some wrestlers were soft? I heard about it. I haven't heard the actual thing, but just going off of what I've heard about it, I mean...
A lot of wrestlers are soft nowadays.
He ain't wrong. He ain't wrong.
No, he's not wrong. He's not wrong at all.
Same could be, and Russell even just said, yeah, same could go for a lot of people in the country, too.
Wrestlers have become the marks.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
The marks have become...
the business.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Yep. The Dutch Mantell said, I like the business a lot more when the marks were out front. You know, like, back in the 70s and 80s, if you were wrestling in WWE or some major promotion or something like that, and a new guy came in from like Jim Crockett or whatever, you didn't run up to him to get his autograph and take pictures with him. You know, it's because you all knew each other in some way. Nowadays, you have some big name come on an indie show, all the wrestlers are clamoring for the guy's autograph and get pictures and all that stuff. And I've been there too when it comes to like getting pictures taken with guys, but don't have anybody's autograph. But it's like that mentality carries over to WWE, and now you got a locker room full of marks who are just happy to be there and make their minimum, guaranteed minimum every year. And I'm thinking that's where Undertaker's coming from when he says wrestlers are getting soft, because there was no guarantees when he started. You had to work to fucking live and survive. Ask Steve Austin about doing that.
It was a cutthroat business back in the day.
Totally. And it still is in some respects.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like, I'm making my money. Oh, I'm just going to rest on my laurels.
They used to.
Why try? Why bother?
They used to say you can make money or you can make friends. Independent wrestling, you're not really going to make money as it is because not most promotions, but many promotions out there are running on shoestring budgets, and you're going to get $20 on a hot dog, probably more than likely. But if you get merchandise you can sell and make money that way, all the better. But now wrestlers have to kind of proactively go for the promotions that the companies are looking at, like Evolve and Ring of Honor and stuff like that. You really got to make an effort to go there. So once you get there, you get possibly get the opportunity to move up to the bigger shows and the bigger locker rooms. But independents, make friends on the independents because that's how you get booked.
Yeah.
One of the first rules in the business is you go to a show that your buddy's on and you're not booked. You bring your shit, have your bag ready in the car because you never know. Somebody could pull out of that show, get injured, have an argument with the booker, and they get kicked out. Like, are you here with him? Yeah. Did you bring your shit? Yeah. Get your shit. You're booked. That happens. I've had to do that. So,
yeah. Now you know it's who's willing to say they know.
Yeah, yep. and it also comes down, and I also feel like it comes down to the individual. Like, yeah, you got a choice. Do you want to be a great wrestler or do you want to get over? You know, and it's and I'm going to use this guy as an example because back when I was first starting out doing this YouTube wrestling thing in 2011 and so on, I used to be friends with this Canadian guy named Andy who had a channel called WWE Legend 619. And he was the biggest fucking Michael Elgin mark I had ever seen. And when I see anything of Michael Elgin, it's like, okay, what's so special about him? You know, because when you really look at him, yeah, great in the ring, but very not so great on the mic. And to me, if you're going to make it in the business, you gotta have not only the chops in the ring, but the chops on the stick.
Yep.
You can't talk, you can't draw.
Exactly.
Yep. It used to be 50-50. Now it's 75% of the business is you talking. That's what sells most of the time anyway.
You know, this could actually be a good little debate / top 10 episode we could do of the top 10 best wrestlers who could do both talk and work. And because I feel like, especially after years ago, back when I was talking to my buddy Chronix from Most Extreme Wrestling, also known as Donut Space on Twitch, who's one of my mods. I feel like he said it perfectly in an old Q&A he did back with his ex-wife, that I agree with him of what makes a great wrestler, 60% in-ring ability, 40% microphone ability. And honestly, if you add that up together, if you ask me who I think the best of all time is, it's a two-legged race between Ric Flair and Shawn Michaels. When it comes to those two aspects. But this could be a whole nother episode in the future, like like what we think is a great wrestler and the top 10 of all time on certain aspects. In the ring, on the mic, and drawing.
Ability to get the crowd on your side or against you.
Yep.
Yeah. Son of a bitch. Ricky was asking, what the hell that's Indie Wrestling 101 about, talking about like the wages and budgets and stuff. Russell brought up about with the Undertaker thing, he also brought up that Goldberg said it too. Well, yeah. I mean, and like even Russell said earlier, it's not just wrestling, it's also like a lot of people in the country are going soft too. You know? But that's
people that grew up in South Park and Family Guy are now offended by everything.
Exactly. Yes. It's like you can't have it both ways, people. You just can't do it. But that's a discussion I don't want to go deep into. Otherwise, we will not leave.
Yeah, we'd be here another few hours.
Right, and you know,
yes.
I got cookies to eat. And I don't want to do it on camera.
Zach brought up, Rick had the better promos. Sean sounded like he smoked before he came out to talk nowadays.
Sean
has that voice. Yes, Sean had that.
Sean on a little bit of was perfect.
Yeah.
Hence WrestleMania 7. I said a lot of cocaine in that locker room.
Ricky asked, all right, Scott, this is for you. Since you've been a booker, my question is, what has been your favorite booking decision?
Well, that's hard to explain without full context.
Go for it.
All right. Let's see. It was hard to pick one. I'm sorry. Booking decision? Picking someone to get a title maybe, or, something like that, you mean? My best booking decision was taking myself off the shows. Personally. That's how I feel, because I did the booking the show and wrestling on the show in the same time type deal. And you can do it a few times, maybe a handful, but eventually the brain has to kick in to say one or the other. You can't do both all the time. On the indie level, and that's all I've ever done, so I can't say anything about WWE or anything like that. But on indie level, if you're a wrestler and you're booking the show, you have to really give all your concentration to one or the other. If you're a wrestler and you're booking the show and you worry about the show more than your match, you're going to get hurt or your opponent's going to get hurt. If you worry about your match more than the show's going to fall apart. So you have to consciously say, I can't do both. And once I made that decision on my own to say, I'm not going to wrestle anymore, I had more fun. I was able to concentrate more on developing storylines that made sense with the people involved with them. Because, like I said before, shows can change. Cards subject to change, like you put in the comments there. It happens all the time. And I taught this to several friends of mine who eventually started booking other shows on their own. I said the greatest aspect or greatest asset that a booker can have is the ability to say, I love that, but I can't do it and I'm not going to. Because if you do that, that means you're not going to sacrifice the whole of the show for an idea you really think is good. But if you think about it, it's not going to work in a long-term setting, and you need to pull it back so the whole show does better than that just one little idea, if that makes any sense. So you learn that over time. You learn that with writing. You learn that with any kind of art of any kind. If I have a match and I know I can do this one spot so freaking good, but in order for me to get to do it, I have to make sure my opponent does this, this, and this, and this. That's asking a lot. And it's not about me, it's not about him, it's about the match. So if I just put that aside and not worry about it and worry about having a good match, maybe the opportunity comes on its own for it to happen naturally instead of just forcing it in there. Not like Zeb Bellringer. But anyway, thank you. I wanted to get that reaction.
That's per episode.
So that's probably my best booking decision. It's selfish, I know, sorry, but taking myself off shows and just doing stuff from backstage. I got more excited about the shows that way anyway than of anything I could have done in the ring. I'd see the guys go out there and kill it, and the crowd be on their freaking feet, and I would just be so freaking happy for them that they got to have that experience, and I got to give them the opportunity to have that experience. So that's probably it.
And Ricky with a follow-up question. Well, favorite person you booked to become the next breakout star?
Nobody really was a breakout star. I did have Bobby Fish on a couple of my shows because Fish and I were old friends. Went to the same high school together. Even though we didn't know each other in high school, we knew each other from the business, even though we're from the same area.
Yeah.
And he was already...
Bob,
Bob?
your teacher?
Yeah, Fish was my step nephew's substitute teacher one day, and I went to my it was his mom. Okay, my step nephew's mother's husband. They got divorced, and she got remarried. So at that wedding, Bo, my step nephew, said, "How do you know Mr. Fish?" I said, "Who?" He said, Mr. Fish, Bob Fish. Oh, Bob, yeah. So I had to explain to him how I knew Bob, but. Yeah, so that was probably that. Another great guy I got to work with, Bobby Ocean, who's an independent guy in the Northeast. He's a guy that should have gotten a break a long time ago. He's just got... If you took Farouk and like Benoit minus the homicide, you'd have Bobby Ocean, and that guy's just so freaking good. I also got to book Mischief, who was Shimmer champion. She was Shimmer champion, NWA World Champion, and NWA Midwest Women's Champion all at the same time. Got to book Alexis. She's in Impact. She's Eddie Edwards' wife.
Yeah.
Alicia is a real name. Really, really nice girl. Really nice girl. We always do better booking with the women anyway, because my wife had great connections with that stuff. So Lexi Fife has been a great friend of ours too. Lexi is she runs Slammin' Ladies in Florida. She's been an NWA Women's Champion, wrestled since the mid '90s. She trained with like the Hardys and Lita and that whole crew from the Carolinas, and teammates with Malia Hasaka. Was part of Shimmer when it started. She's part of Rise and Shine and all those promotions in Florida. Still a good friend of ours. Wonderful person. So yeah, we had a lot more fun with the ladies. Not to say I didn't have fun like having like some of the ECW talent in our locker room. Tommy Dreamer. You got Tommy Dreamer this freaking close to you, talking about the business while he's burping out the side of his mouth because he's drinking too much coffee. Doing this shit. I mean, Dreamer was awesome. Shane Douglas was a total pro. The Boogeyman is the coolest motherfucker ever. He is so nice. Gives great hugs, by the way. Even with worm breath, and the worms are real. Sabu was nice. Stevie Richards was really nice. The biggest dick we probably dealt with, Jeff Jarrett. Definitely.
That
Jeff
don't
Jarrett.
shock me.
Yeah, and this is the time when Jeff was he was drinking a lot more. You could tell like something was up with him because he was just miserable the whole night. So I mean, I've been really lucky. Matter of fact,
Huh.
signed by Jeff Jarrett. I did get his autograph on the guitar. So
Wow. That's cool.
Jarrett was the reason my wife got in the wrestling business because she was such a huge fan of him in WCW, Slapnuts and all that stuff. And unfortunately, it's kind of like don't meet your heroes because, again, with his attitude, it really soured her on him. But eventually, he got the help he needed. He got hired by WWE as an agent. He's doing good things now. So he's turned his life around. But at that time, which was actually the last show I was ever a part of, wasn't the best of times for Jeff Jarrett or me, as a matter of fact. So,
Yeah. And Zach just said, I still need to learn how to play my electric guitar. Jeez, what is up with a lot of our friends now all of a sudden becoming players? Or are players. Like, you, Scott, playing bass guitar, I play drums, occasional bass. Ricky playing guitar, now Zach wants to play guitar, our buddy Dylan Kamikaze plays guitar. Good Lord, what's next? Are we going to have a full band?
Oh, we might have to someday.
Yeah, especially Scott, Dylan, and I have to make a band together. And Dylan can handle the singing because he's actually not a bad singer.
Yep.
So there we have it with that, at least. But I feel like that's a good way to end off the first episode of WrestleMania month. So a reminder, next week it's WrestleMania 10. Then we go to 11, 14, 17... then we review night 1 of 37 and give predictions for night 2 because that episode's going to be on a Sunday afternoon because of it being a 2-night event again. And then as far as the rest of April, still getting it going. Oh.
And coming soon! Coming soon! Coming soon!
Oh yeah, the
1
1-year
year
anniversary watch along of fucking Heroes of Wrestling on the beginning of May.
We get to show the show because it's not copyrighted by anybody.
Public domain. So we're gonna share that shit, folks.
Oh
it's gonna
my
be fun.
Lord, that's gonna be something.
Beer,
That'll be episode 50. The only reason why it's
perfect.
not the only reason it's not 52 is because we did have a couple off breaks when we first started. Zach, not Heroes of Wrestling. Oh.
Yes, it's happening.
Yes,
and you're going to be here.
It's not just going to be a review. It's not going to be a review. It's going to be a watch along.
It's
2.5 hours of epicness and total fucking just
Oh, we're just gonna rip that show apart.
And you know what's funny? You know what's funny? I'm gonna piss a lot of people off here, but I don't care. I like to piss people off sometimes. This is gonna be better than any AEW pay-per-view.
Thumbs down, thumbs down.
Come at us, bro. I'm agreeing with him.
Will
Damn,
the
that's
Heroes
you
of
out
Wrestling have an exploding barbed wire death match?
Yeah. Hey, jackass! I did exploding barbed wire when you were still just a stain in your mother's pantyhose.
Clip that.
Clip that,
Clip
Ricky.
it.
Please,
Clip that, please.
clip it. Or Zach, clip it if you can.
Mhm.
Oh, that
That's
was
right.
brilliant.
That could be a new notification.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, I might as well put that together now.
Exclamation point AEW. That's what you
I
get.
blame you, Chronix. I blame you, Chronix, because now you got me into doing these sound bits, and now they're haunting me. Because I was on his stream one time, like a week or so ago. He was playing like some retro game, and he put in yes, and it was Vince McMahon going yes or unbelievable. And so I'm like, okay, how did you make this? Oh, I use Streamlabs Chatbot. Okay, I went on there and added all them sounds, and holy crap, I might have to turn them off during podcasts. But for any other stream,
kiss my ass. Shut up. Go to hell. Go to hell.
but for any
Dude,
other stream, it's fair game.
What?
All right, but and also a quick note: this will be the last stream I'm doing until Tuesday, because I'm going to be leaving for Tennessee in the morning. But I will be back Tuesday, just in time for a gaming stream. And holy crap! Oh, the craziness that'll happen when I get home. And then Wednesday, it's the Horseman podcast, where we're talking Judas Priest songs.
Oh, you're doing
And
the
that's
show.
episode 50, actually, so that's going to be big.
Nice.
But before we go, it's plug time. Scott, what you got?
Alrighty, sir. You can find me on my YouTube channel, Mr. Scott Reacts. Got a lot of cool stuff coming up. As I said, this week, coming out on Thursday, it's going to be a special proposal video I'm doing for the WWE, but it's more for the fans out there. So please actually go there and check it out and give me your feedback on it. You also find me on Twitter and Instagram at Mr. Scott Reacts. I am on Twitch, also just like Levi, but it's under Mr. Scott Rocks. I go on there, I jam bass guitar, and I chat with people. I love doing that. I play all kinds of songs on there, from Metallica to Venom, as Levi is having a conniption about more stuff he's getting on his Twitch. Play Metallica, Venom, Megadeth, all kind of stuff like that. Having fun on Twitch at Mr. Scott Rocks. Also find me and our good brother Walter, who should be back next week after a 2-week break. He should be back. He and I are part of the Necrocasticon Horror and Metal podcast. It comes out every Monday with our buddies Tom Clark, Skip Novak, and Dan Roberts. And you find our brother Walter on Twitter at YourWaltBall and on Instagram at smokin_Walt_ball.
James.
You can find me on my YouTube at We Are Pro Wrestling, where I've started my WrestleMania season. I just talked about WrestleMania 3 this past week. Next week, I'm going to be talking about WrestleMania 17, and then 19, 2, 22, and 15 to end WrestleMania season. And you can find me on Twitter at WAPW_wrestling.
And then finally, you can subscribe to me on YouTube, ThrashManiac99, getting close to 3,100 subscribers. Marvel Studios Cup Series season just wrapped up. Scott was the champion, actually.
Rigged!
Work! No. Shadow Cult Team. Shadow Cult
Team, exactly.
Yes. Which promo did you use?
I used the face one.
All right, okay.
And I realized I completely forgot. I was said in the damn race video I was going to put an outtake of your special promo, and I forgot to put it in there. I could just upload it as a separate video and then
You had
post it on
3
Discord.
jobs, Levi.
Hey, I've got a lot going in my head. I got work. I got all this. What do you expect me to do?
Yeah.
Rattle.
He's got that jacuzzi in his mind in Tennessee.
Yes, and the record store, too.
And the record store
And
too. Yeah.
Zev.
What you buy? What you buy? What you buy? What you buy?
Not yet. Not yet.
Not yet.
But anyways, but yeah, Marvel Studios Cup Series season just wrapped up. Still doing the 5-question show, which is great. I've been having fun doing that. If you guys want to ask me a question, go to the latest episode and send a question in the comments. You can follow and or subscribe to me on Twitch, as some of you have been watching at ThrashManiac99 on Twitch. And finally, follow me on Twitter at ThrashManiac99. And you're damn right, Zach, naked women make me feel a lot better. So, with all that said and done, thank you guys for watching, but we are going to raid a new Twitch channel I found named Dimmock Vokills, who's a big death metal freak, who's fairly new on Twitch, doing Metal Day. Go give him a follow, give him some love, and until next week, horns high, and we shall see you for WrestleMania 10.